Hey, Jeff here, and in today's video we're going to take 100 mil in one GE slot and see if we can make some magic happen, so stay tuned to see how much money we can make. After doing this challenge, I found it to be very nerve-wracking to find an item and having to sit there and wait for it to buy, so during this video, keep an eye on the timer down below and how long each item takes to buy. So we start with the Sanguine Staff here. I'm not going to try to say the whole thing. It takes about 3 minutes to buy. Not too bad, but it has a buy limit of 8, so I could do up to 8 per this whole hour, but I didn't want to keep doing the same item over and over too much. But we tried the Sanguine here to see if we could make a little bit of a profit on the first item, and it sells for a profit of 174k. Now that's a good start to the video. We scoop up the Sanguine Staff spoils there for a nice profit, as I said, of 174k. I tried to buy another one, and after a couple of minutes I'm like, you know, I don't really trust it. I got nervous, so I tried to buy the Void Waker here, and the Void Waker looked like a great item on the graphs, and this was like, I'm like, alright, the Void Waker usually has a pretty good ROI, return on investment on it, so I put my offer in. A few minutes go by and it comes through. Me and the Void Waker have had a really good relationship over the years. It usually gives me a good profit. I give it good smacks, dropping people in the wildy. Not really. I don't think I've ever taken anyone down with the Void Waker, but I put it in there, and the graph took that line rider nosedive down, so I actually had to drop the price down to 80k for my initial sell, and it ends up selling for a loss, a big loss of 68k. Then that really stunk. But we plan on bouncing back with a vengeance with the Dragon Hunter Lance. This is an item that has like a 2,000 to 3,000 daily volume. It can be an item that you can flip multiple per hour. You can easily do a full 8 per 1 hour if you wanted to. So I tried to get one of those. A few minutes go by and it comes through. I was like, hey, I love buying items in the Grand Exchange. It's like buying stuff in real life, except for it doesn't cost you real money. And I try to sell it for a profit, and wait a minute or two, it ends up selling for a profit of 118k. So I tried to buy another one quick, so I'm like, you know, if I'm going to do this flipping, I need to make money after losing that 68k, and I buy another Hunter Lance. I'm like, yeah, give me those Hunter Lances, baby. And I try to drop it in for that same profit of 118k. 3-4 minutes go by and it sells, man. I was just like, this is awesome. So I raised the price a little bit. I raised that price just 3k, which is enough to undercut myself to try to buy it, but like 6 minutes go by and it doesn't come through, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to try to waste all that time. So I try to get these Primordial Boots, and I put them in the GE, and 2.5 minutes go by, and I'm like, I can't waste that much time when I only have an hour to work with. The anxiety was getting ramped up a little bit, so let's try this Fang out. The Fang's another item that sells thousands per day. People are always buying those and selling those Fangs, or getting them as drops, or however. We're doing whatever they want to do with those Fangs. Maybe they just buy them to admire them. I don't know, but it didn't work out, so I had to cancel that one after almost 3 minutes. So I tried the Bandos Godsword, another great item that sells thousands per day. Usually has pretty good turn, and there it goes. And finally, we get an item to buy. The first time I bought a Bandos Godsword was back in the day. I sold my entire bank to buy one, and I was so happy to finally have a Godsword, but I had to go to a baseball game, and I just wanted to get home and play with that Godsword. Even though I love baseball, I was like, oh, I finally have a Godsword, so that was a good time. That was probably a good 15 years ago, though. Jeez. And make a nice profit of 39k off of the first BGS, so I'll try to buy 2 of them just to try to get more volume going, you know? If you buy more than one, you can make more money. Zapow! 2 of them come through. We get to try to double our initial profit of 39k and sit here and play the waiting game again. So after a little bit, one ends up selling, and a little bit longer goes by, and both of them sell for a total profit of 78k or 39k per each one. And I thought about doing it again, but that initial, I put 2 an offer in for another, but 3 minutes go by, nothing happens. So I tried to switch up to the Aegis and the Armadillo Godsword and put in an offer for those. They're another one of those items that has a huge amount of daily volume sold, but it just wasn't moving, so I had to cancel that one out, and we move on to a Venerator Bow. This one had a huge margin at the time, and I was really trying. Oh, and then someone was dropping a Rune 2-handers on the ground, so I'm like, oh, there we could make some more money. I click on that one, don't get it. I'm like waiting for the next one to show up, but unfortunately I didn't get it, and it wasn't a lure to the wildy, so very head scratching there. We reassume the position at the GE, get my camera zoomed in, 3 minutes go by, no Venerator Bow. Venerator Bow said no to me, and so we tried the Amulet of Torture out. This is another item with a high volatility. I'm trying to get something quick to move through here in the last 5 minutes of this challenge. I'm just want to try to squeeze more profit out, make up for that 68k loss, and there it comes through after like a minute and a half. So I try to drop it in there for a slight profit, and I tried to find all items that had very consistent graphs, and I'll be showing the graphs on screen too, and you can see see what happened with the Void Waker as we sell the Torture there for 16k profit. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, I got that in a minute and a half. So if you got all 8 of them, it takes you 16 minutes to get 8 of them, and you make 16k. You'll be making a pretty good amount of money. What would that be? 100 and some amount of quick math. 2-minute warning. With my made-up rule set, as long as I buy the item within the limit of time, I can try to sell it and still get the profit. So I'm like, I'll try to get the saying staff, but you can see the time runs out and it just doesn't come through. We cancel that offer so we can do the price check. So moment of truth, we make a profit of 476k. That's actually not too bad for only 1 GE slot and 100 mil. It's kind of hard to find items, and it is very, very stressful. Well, for me to try to sit there and watch an item and be like, is it going to buy? What if this item is a dead item? You know what I mean? So if you like this, you like these random challenge videos, or you just like flipping, or you just like me, or you just want to see RuneScape videos, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'm Jeff, and I'll see you next time.